Maggie and Millie and Molly and May went down to the beach to play one day, and Maggie discovered a shell that sang so sweetly she couldn't remember her troubles, and Millie befriended a stranded star whose rays 5 languid fingers were, and Molly was chased by a horrible thing which raced sideways while blowing bubbles, and May came home with a smooth round stone, as small as the world and as large as alone. For whatever we lose, like a you or a me, it's always ourselves we find in the sea. Hello and welcome to the Oak Tree English Poetry Livestream. Today we're focusing on poems of friendship. I've put together a small collection, see what you think. That was Maggie and Millie and Molly and May by E. Cummins. Famous, of course, for not using capital letters or punctuation or messing around with syntax, etc. It does roll off the tongue rather beautifully, doesn't it? Maggie and Millie and Molly and May. It's lovely. Welcome and thank you for joining me. Please feel free to share, subscribe, etc. Just to do the whole YouTube thing. I'm going to turn from E. Cummins to the slightly deeper and darker William Blake with his take on friendship, A Poison Tree. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath did end. I was angry with my foe. I told it not, my wrath did grow. And I watered it in fears, night and morning with my tears, and I sunned it with my smiles, and with soft deceitful wiles. And it grew both day and night, till it bore an apple bright. And my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine, and into my garden stole, when the night had veiled the pole. In the morning, glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree. Not the best way to go about life. It's much easier to forgive and move on. If you don't forgive and move on, you're letting someone live rent-free in your heart. Not a good plan. Just saying. Now, Rudyard Kipling had a novel view on friendship, particularly with his dog. He wrote about this, of course, in the Just So Stories, particularly The Cat Who Walked by Himself. But here's a poem he wrote called The First Friend. Pussy can sit by the fire and sing. Pussy can climb a tree, or play with a silly old cork and string to amuse herself. Not me. But I like Binky, my dog, because he knows how to behave. So Bink is the same as the first friend was, and I am the man in the cave. Pussy will play Man Friday till it's time to wet her paw, and make her walk on the windowsill for the footprint Crusoe saw. Then she flittles her tail and mews, and scratches and won't attend. But Binky will play whatever I choose, and he is my true first friend. Pussy will rub my knees with her head, pretending she loves me hard. But the very minute I go to bed, Pussy runs out in the yard, and there she stays till the morning light, so I know it's only pretend. But Binky, he snores at my feet all night, and he is my firstest friend. Of course, very sadly for Kipling, it didn't last. Binky went the way that all flesh does, and he died. And this is what Rudyard Kipling wrote for the woman in his life. 4 feet. I have done mostly what most men do, and pushed it out of my mind. But I can't forget if I wanted to. 4 feet trotting behind. Day after day, the whole day through, wherever the road inclined, Forefeet said, "I'm coming with you," and trotted along behind. Now I must go by some other round, which I shall never find, somewhere that does not carry the sound of Forefeet trotting behind. Now, Billy Boy. We can't go too long in a poetry reading without turning to Billy Wobble Javelin, or William Shakespeare, as you might call him. I'm going to go for one of the sonnets because he wrote so many of them, and I'm never going to get through them all because, frankly, I don't much like sonnets. So I'm going to read this one. Forgive me if I don't do it justice. Sonnet 104. To me, fair friend, you can never be old, for as you were when first your eye I eyed, such seems your beauty still. 3 winters cold have from the forest shook 3 summers' pride. 3 beauteous springs to yellow autumn turned. In process of the seasons I have seen 3 April perfumes in 3 hot Junes burned, since first I saw you fresh, which yet are green. Ah, yet doth beauty, like a dial hand, steal from his figure, and no pace perceived. So your sweet hue, which methinks still doth stand, hath motion, and mine eye may be deceived. For fear of which, hear this, thou age unbred, ere you were born, was beauty's summer dead. Now, did you know that William Shakespeare was once a lay rector at Holy Trinity Church, which is where he's now buried? Therefore, you could have gone to church to hear a sermon preached by William Shakespeare. Now, that would have been something. Sadly, you've only got me. So some of the most beautiful words ever written are recorded for us in the Bible. And of course, this is only a translation of the Greek. All these are from the New Testament. But I've got a few Bible verses about how to be good friends. John 13:34-35. These are the words of Jesus. A new command I give you. Love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. 1 John 4:12-13. No one has ever seen God, but if we love one another, God lives in union with us, and his love is made perfect in us. We are sure that we live in union with God and that he lives in union with us because he has given us his Spirit. Ephesians 4:2-3. Be always humble, gentle, and patient. Show your love by being tolerant with one another. Do your best to preserve the unity which the Spirit gives by means of the peace that binds you together. 1 Peter 3:8-9. To conclude, you must all have the same attitude and the same feelings. Love one another and be kind and humble with one another. Do not pay back evil with evil or cursing with cursing. Instead, pay back with a blessing, because a blessing is what God promised to give you when he called you. Slightly different from William Blake's take on it, of course, but probably more sensible. And I'm going to conclude this short poetry reading with something written in the Scottish dialect. I'm not going to attempt a Scottish accent because it would only be offensive to Scottish people. So I'm sorry for doing this, but I'm going to do what I can. This is Auld Lang Syne. I'm reading it as a poem, not singing it. Feel free to sing it in your minds. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and Auld Lang Syne? For Auld Lang Syne, my Jo, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. And surely you'll be your pint stoup, and surely I'll be mine, and we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. We too have run around the braes and powed the gown fine, but we've wandered mony a weary fit sin Auld Lang Syne. We too have paddled in the burn from morning sun till dine, but seas between us braid hey roar sin Auld Lang Syne. I'm absolutely massacring this. And there's a hand, my trusty fear, and gi's a hand of thine, and we'll tak a right to Gate Willie Ward for Auld Lang Syne. For Auld Lang Syne, my Jo, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll tak a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. I absolutely massacred that. Feel free to unsubscribe now if you if you were offended by that. I don't intend to do it again. Oh dear. I do have a collection of Scottish poems, but following that, I think I will never do it unless I actually manage to get a Scot in here to do the accent properly. That was grotesque. I do apologize. However, if you've enjoyed the rest of this, then please feel free to subscribe and like the video and do all that YouTube-y goodness, because it all helps with the algorithms. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye and God bless.